Ladies and gentlemen, we all know that Hong Kong has been a kind of focus of attention the last half a year because of all this demonstration and also another attraction in Asia is the soon coming election, president election of Taiwan. Yeah? And so that make me at least to think from time to time about Hong Kong, Taiwan, and China. Now recently, I met some European friends, and interesting is they all told me that, oh, I was in China, and I was in Taiwan and Hong Kong. Oh, it's so different, these places. And I asked them, what do you mean different? Well, he say, I don't understand why, but you know, it's a totally different feeling. When I was in Taiwan, I feel that they are very humane. You know, it's very normal and it's very peaceful, and I feel relaxed. While in China, I feel more alert, and I don't feel as relaxed as in Taiwan. And in Hong Kong is something in between in this sense. And of course they say in Hong Kong it's much more international. You know, many people speak English and so on. But interesting is that actually coincides with my personal experience. I was recently in Taiwan. I tell you a little story. Yeah? But you know, sometimes in small things you can see a big principle or a big background of that. I was hurrying to go back from the city of Taichung in Taiwan, which is in the middle of Taiwan, to go back to Taipei. So from a big city to an even bigger city with the high-speed train. Yeah? And when I rushed to the railway station, I stand in front of the ticket machines. I say, oh my God, my train is going in 5 minutes, and now I have to struggle through this ticket machine. So, and you know, when you never use that machine, even if it is very logical, it still may take time. So while I was standing there and hesitating which button to choose, a young man, a young Taiwan Chinese, standing behind me and say, oh, uncle, can I help you? I say, sure. I said, where you want? I said, oh, I want to go to Taipei. And so, okay, he said, da, 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 da. Of course, he did it, you know, in a few seconds and got a ticket for me. I said, I was very thankful. I said, thank you very much. And I wanted to go, but then he said, you know, uncle, I accompany you to the train so you don't take the wrong train. I was a bit surprised, you know, because that doesn't happen in mainland China. I mean, at least I have never experienced that, and I think many people will agree with me. So he actually wanted to accompany to the train. And then his friends say, oh, John, you know, we have, our train is departing soon, maybe in 5 minutes too. I say, no, doesn't matter. We can always take the next one. You know, this uncle is from far away. So he did it. So he showed me all the way to the train. I mean, it's a small story, but it says a lot about the morality and the ethic of people there. And I have also been thinking, how come, you know, this kind of story, I can tell you hundreds of them when I was in Taiwan. Most people are so open, so friendly, while in mainland China, everybody is on alert. Everybody is always defending themselves, not being taken advantage from another person. That's what my feeling. And, and in Hong Kong, it is in a way like Taiwan, yeah, but more hectic. You know, in Taiwan, you know, it's losing 10 seconds, no big deal. But in Hong Kong, it look like the 10 seconds can be it can be a big thing. And so efficiency is a high awareness of the Hong Kong people. But they are still doing it in a friendly way, most of them, yeah, and also very similar, I would say, to many Western mega cities, Hong Kong. And to be honest, you feel pretty safe in Hong Kong until half a year ago, when all this demonstration and all this police brutality started. That made a big difference. So anyway, I've been thinking, how come it can be so different? You know, you should know that they are the same people. People in China, mainland, people in Taiwan, in Hong Kong, they are all Chinese. And actually, they are all, so to say, culturally and historically the same country. I mean, Taiwan has been for hundreds of years a part of China, a province of China, yeah, until actually 1949, when the communists took power in mainland, and the so-called Kuomintang or Chiang Kai-shek and his people moved to Taiwan and continue the government of Republic of China until today. Now, in my opinion, the main difference between, on one side, I would say, mainland China, and on the other side, Taiwan and Hong Kong, is that both Taiwan and Hong Kong, yeah, no one has tried to systematically destroy the traditional Chinese culture. That is my conclusion after analyzing all these differences. Why? Because the traditional Chinese culture has been emphasizing a lot about morality, about, you know, how to live together between people, very humane. Yeah? If you think about Confucianism, yeah, they emphasize a lot how to be considerate to other people. And if you think about Taoism, then they emphasize how everybody should be honest, should be truthful, you know, what you say is what you mean, yeah? And the Buddhist or Buddha thinking is compassion, you know. One of the main thing a person should develop himself or herself to is being a compassionate person. Now, unfortunately, in the past 70 years, since 1949, in mainland China, this not only has not been promoted, actually be crushed. You know, since 1949, all the way until, you know, Cultural Revolution everybody have heard about, because the Chinese Communist Party in the 60s, they drew the conclusion that the Chinese traditional culture is one of the biggest obstacles for what they want to achieve. So that's why they launched this Cultural Revolution. Before that, they destroyed already culture, but the Cultural Revolution, you can say, is the last systematic hammer hit on Chinese culture to destroy it totally. That's what they try. Okay, fortunately, they have not been able to destroy it 100%, but 90%. So, and that makes a big difference. Can you imagine, after 70 years, children of mainland China, they don't learn about to be compassionate, to be considerate like Confucius want, or compassionate like Buddha want, or to be truthful like Lao Tzu want. Instead, what they learn, you guys have to understand that in the last 70 years, the Chinese Communist Party tried to educate the whole people of China, starting from small children, to be a big army. You know, what they dream about is China become one huge big army. So that's why you can see in Chinese school, they all learn how to march like a military, you know, and even all the way up to university, they get, many of them get military training. And they are running China also like an army. That is, you know, in the army, you're not supposed to do anything you want. You just be obedient to the order. And this is exactly what has been happening in China 70 years. Every Chinese citizen learned the most important thing is to obey the party. You stop thinking yourself. And you become, you know, abnormal thing become normal when everybody do like that? Well, you have no chance, you have no choice. So because the system is in China, no freedom of speech, no freedom of press, no freedom of demonstration, no freedom of organization, and so on. While in Taiwan, in Hong Kong, full freedom. In Hong Kong, ironically, although it has been more than 150 years a British colony, and to be frank, to be honest, the British, they of course promoted a lot the British culture while they were the colonialists of Hong Kong. But the British never systematically tried to crush, tried to destroy the traditional Chinese culture. They let them alone. You know, children in Hong Kong, they could learn about what all these men of wisdom like Confucius, like Lao Tzu and Buddha have said in the school. And in Hong Kong, actually, there have been two kinds of school, a so-called Chinese school and English school. In the Chinese school, all subjects are learned in Chinese language and in the original Chinese language, not the simplified Chinese language. And they pronounce it in Cantonese, that's the only difference. Yeah? Well, like in Taiwan, they never use the so-called simplified Chinese, because simplified Chinese is actually, I would say, a destroyed Chinese language or a deformed Chinese language. That has not been allowed in Hong Kong and not been allowed in Taiwan. When I was a child, if I write a word in mainland Chinese, you know, communist, simplified way, then the teacher will take marks for me, take scores for me, you know. It's a mistake, it's wrong. So this is just an example, because language is in a way a carrier of the culture, and culture is the carrier of morality and ethics. Because people, what is morality? Is how you behave as a person, right? But nobody have time to think in every situation. How shall I react? How shall I handle this thing? How shall I treat this person? Your culture form you as an entity of morality. So you don't have time to think. You just react as you have learned in your culture. And this is the sad thing what happened in mainland China due to the systematic destruction of the traditional Chinese culture. So the morality and ethics of the people have been, unfortunately, much, much destroyed. So in China, you cannot just count, in mainland China, you cannot, as in Taiwan and Hong Kong, count on someone next to you will certainly stretch out his hand to help you. No. Actually, in mainland China, particularly in big cities, if someone stretch out his hand to help you, you are actually very hesitated. You will immediately think, he probably wants something from me, otherwise he will not help me. Terrible. But all this, thank for the 70 years of brainwashing of the Communist Party of China. So, ladies and gentlemen, there will be soon an election in Taiwan, yeah? And many people think or say this election officially is an election of president, but in reality it will be a referendum on how the Taiwan Chinese people see CCP, the Chinese Communist Party. And those who vote for Tsai Ing-wen are those who do not want communists to expand their influence in China. It is not really for the person, Tsai Ing-wen, to become a president. So, like the election recently in Hong Kong, the district election of district parliament, it was also in a way a kind of referendum to show how people's attitude is towards CCP. And you know that in Hong Kong, 18 of 19 possible districts, the anti-communist and pro-democracy party got their seats in the parliament. And I guess it will be something similar in Taiwan. Although the CCP has been spending million and million or billion to influence both the election in Hong Kong and the election in Taiwan. But, this is the irony. They themselves do not allow people to have any election, any true election. But they spend a lot of money and other effort to influence other people's election. This is our world. We have to wake up and don't get manipulated. We have to be able to think independently. Don't be manipulated by neither money nor any nice talking. Thank you. So if you like my video, push the button, subscribe. Thank you.